do we have audio? All right, do we have audio everywhere? We got coaches on YouTube. As you guys are starting to pile in here on YouTube, let me know in the comments if you guys have audio. Coaches in the VIP in the Zoom room, let me know if you guys have audio. See, Coach Hills, can you hear? Thumbs up. Coaches in the VIP in the Zoom room. Awesome, there we go. Let's see, I've got my YouTube up on the other computer so I can make sure that we're live there. Everything's looking good. All right, so today is day 3 of our 5-day challenge. This is really one of the most crucial days. This is almost the linchpin of the whole thing. Learning the offense is one. It's like one magic trick of its own to learn the offense. To install the offense is like the next big hang up. Right? First of all, we think the offense is too complicated. Hopefully yesterday, I guess actually one of the first thing is coach say, well, Jalen, you can hear? Awesome. Really appreciate it. Awesome. Thanks for letting me know in YouTube because I was gonna keep going no matter what. There's so many misconceptions about Princeton. Most coaches will say, I don't want to run the Princeton offense because it's a slow down offense. But hopefully what we did in day 1 is we talked about, well, here's all the different strategies. You can run the Princeton offense up tempo, down tempo. You can grind it. You can grind it away. You can grind it out. You can spread it out and play in space. There's all different ways and methods of actually running the Princeton. It just has that bad rap because that's the only programs that we saw running Princeton growing up were teams that ran at a slow pace. Now I think it's starting to open up. The next problem coaches run into with Princeton is it's too hard to learn. It's too complicated. We'll never pick it up. As coaches, it's just too much. There's too much to run. There's too much. And then hopefully yesterday on day 2, we talked about how you can simplify the Princeton offense, run 1 series, run 2 series, kind of broken them down to their core element, to the most core first principle solution that we could possibly have with the X's and O's. Now the next thing is it takes too much time in practice. It's too difficult to install. It's not easy to break down. There's too many moving parts. Our players aren't going to be able to figure it out. Okay, that's what we're going to be breaking down today. This is actually the turning point. Once you learn the secret we're going to be breaking down today on challenge number 3 about practice planning, installation, the strategy that we use to install the offense, which we call which I started calling the progression method. And it's not something that I was doing on purpose when I was installing the offense as a coach. But it just started to happen organically for me. But now intentionally, I know what I was doing looking back. I was like, I was doing it the way that I'm coaching now. So I'm really excited about this. So in the chat, let's see if I got the slides right. So on day 2, so from yesterday, what were your absolute biggest takeaways from day 2? So yesterday was all about X's and O's. What was your biggest takeaway from the low post series, the chin series, the open series, the point series? Anything that we talked about on the board, anything that we went over on the presentation, what were your biggest takeaways about the Princeton offense yesterday? Let me know in the chat. Pop those in there. And then here we're going to start going. So we talked about one, there's just not being enough information with the Princeton offense. We talked about 20 years ago, we talked about recently in today's age, there's almost too much information on Princeton. So Jonathan said it was a good refresher. So Coach Tribler, you've seen this a couple times. And for a lot of you, it is a very good refresher. And so see Coach Stargell, so players should be problem solvers on the court, not just running plays. Absolutely. And it's like, again, I'm not, when I hear coaches say, don't teach them how to run plays, teach them how to play, or teach them how to play, don't teach them how to run plays. I think you have to do both, right? Because if we just teach players how to play, what happens is, if we're just going out and playing because our players know how to play, and we're playing against teams that have more talent, and they also know how to play, all things equal, talent wins. All right, so I think you have to teach them how to play through the plays, and that's kind of oversimplifying. Teaching them how to play through our structure, through our Princeton offense, through our tactics that are going to execute our strategy of how we need to play to compete to win. So it's absolutely great, Coach. Be open, not get open. That's like when you're on the court. once you get your kids to understand that, it's an absolute game changer. It really is. So Coach Bradford said, easily can be made into a continuity. Everything can be easily made into a continuity. Okay, they're just simple modifications. The Chin series, everyone knows as a continuity, but you can modify each of the other 4. And I know we didn't go over how to do that because that's kind of like out of the scope of what we're talking about in this 5 days. But if you wanted to run one of those series, you can absolutely modify it so that you can run low post as a continuity, open as a continuity, point series as a continuity. And Coach Bradford, I think you were on the VIP, so you actually saw us talk about that, how we did that in a couple of those in the VIP session yesterday. So absolutely. Low post and chin series are a good match to team. Yeah. So our VIP coaches saw how we can actually pair, and actually everyone saw this, how we can pair specific offensive series with another offensive series. Like if we're running point down the middle, or we want to run the point series and the low post series. Those are the 2 we picked. How do we run them together? Well, which option out of the point series works best with low post? Well, maybe it's point down the middle. Maybe point screen away and chin work really well because they both end the exact same way. So hopefully you guys got a lot of really good takeaways. So I know some of you guys have seen me do this kind of before. Some of you are brand new to seeing me break down the Princeton offense this way. Sometimes it takes me 10 times in like 3 years to see something over and over and over again before like clicks and registered. So I'm glad everyone's here. And now moving on. So day 3, today's challenge is to design your first practice plan using the progression method installation frameworks. All right? And that famous John Wooden quote, if you fail to prepare, you're preparing to fail. All right? Coach Stargell said it was very helpful to review at the beginning which series are best for each team and dynamic. We did that as well at the beginning. We talked about why would you run low post? Why would you run chin? What personnel is best for point, open, all of that. Yep. So, and today and I'm going to let you guys vote in the chat, okay? Because what we're going to do is I don't like to just cookie cutter and just say, coach spent all this time preparing, he doesn't know what he's doing, and when it comes to install, I'm going to let you guys decide what you guys want to install. And I'm going to do it a little differently this time, so keep this in the back here. I'll let you know when we're going to do this. It's just going to be in a few minutes because we're going to do it. I'm going to show you first what the progression method is, and then I'm going to show you which is the new strategy that we use to install the offense. I'm going to show you what we used to do. But we're going to actually put together a practice plan. And I'm going to let you tell me in the chat what you would usually do in the past is say, hey, just pick one series, low post, chin, point, and open. And I will show you how we do that in progressions. But this time, I'm actually going to do something a little different. I'm going to have you give me 2 series. And then we're going to build out a practice plan so you can see how I strategically put these together so that we go, and it's going to be like, hey, day 1, we're walking in the gym. This is what we're doing. Within, we'll say, between a 30 and 40 minute time frame. I'll let you guys give me the time frame too that we're going to use in our practices. And we're going to go together and we'll put together 1, 2, maybe 3 practice plans. If we're going well on time, we'll do 3 practice plans. But I'm going to do it on the board first, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do an actual practice plan and type out what we did on the board. So it's all going to be on the fly. This is one of my most I like this talk as much, if not more, than the X's and O's. Because I'm going to tell you, this is where the magic happens. It's in the installation. The magic happens in the installation. Okay, so warning, this is controversial. Okay, coaches fight me with this. Okay, even my one of my best friends and mentor, he fights me on this sometimes. The number 1 all-time installation framework that I grew up learning the game as a player, and as a assistant coach, I learned, and from every coach and from every book I read, the way to install your offense is using the whole part whole method. All right, the whole part whole method, even championed. I think I was talking to a coach who was a big John Wooden fan. Said John Wooden used the whole part whole method. That's the way to do it. And it's obviously it's proven. It's a proven framework. It's worked for a very long time for a lot of different, thousands and tens of thousands of coaches all over the world. But the whole part whole method. Let me break it down real quick. The whole part whole method of installation is basically this. We show them the big picture. Like say we're running flex. I'm going to use flex as an example. I do not like the flex offense, but we're going to use flex because it's an easy one. We're going to basically show them, hey, fellas, ladies, what we're going to do here is we're going to throw the ball guard to guard. We're going to set a flex screen, and we're going to flood a down screen. And we're going to throw the ball guard to guard. And we're going to set a flex screen and then a down screen. And this goes over and over and over. And then what we do is we break that down into drills. And we do it 3-on-0, and then we do it 3-on-3. Sometimes we might do it 4-on-0. 4-on-4. Usually it's 3-on-0, 3-on-3. We put a coach in there as a passer, and we turn the offense into a drill. Right? And then once we drill it, and we drill it multiple different ways, from multiple different angles, multiple different timing within the offense, whatever it is, whether it's a set play or whether it's an offensive system. All right, then we come back and we put it all together. And we say, okay, now let's go back and let's do it 5-on-5. We've got all of this repetition with these breakdown drills. All right, now let's do it all together, 5-on-0, 5-on-5. And basically with this strategy, we are giving them the epiphany. All right, we're giving them the epiphany. All right, now, and you might be like, what do you mean you're giving them the epiphany? I'll kind of come back to this in a second. So my problem, and I didn't know this until I started working with Princeton, and I feel like this is one of those things that I heard there's two DVDs that were hugely influential with me, and you can't even get them now. But Coach Joe Scott said this. He said, the problem with breaking your offense down into drills is players get good at the drill. Right? Kids are smart. They get good at the drill. If you break something down into a drill, they get good at the drill. If you do something 3-on-0, 3-on-3, and you do that a lot, they get really good at that. Right? But the problem that Princeton coaches will emphasize, they do everything, and they'll say this. And I've seen Air Force practices, I've seen Richmond practices, I've been able to just kind of glean into their. I've never been in their circle, but I've been able to glean a little bit from my experience and my obsession about this offense. But when you do things 3-on-0 or 3-on-3, and when you break anything down into a drill, even in my personal experience, we'll break down chin, say into a 3-on-0 or 3-on-3 shooting drill, back cut drill, whatever it is. And we're teaching the offense through the drill. My kids, and I've done this, my kids with different teams throughout different years, what they'll do is they'll run the drill, but then what happens is one line starts getting longer than another. And it's really like, sometimes we will spend as much time instructing them how to rotate as we will running the drill. And that got really old for me. And that's one of my first gripes about breaking things down 3-on-0, 3-on-3. Now, I know there's a lot of utility in it, and I know it's controversial. I know some of you are back there getting ready to throw something at the computer screen right now. And I still have coaches fight me on this. But the next problem that I found out with the whole part whole is when you do things 3-on-0, right, you're always repping the action, right? The ball screen and the roll, and one player filling, and this one going back door, and that one popping. This one gets a shot here from coach. This one, we're always repping where the action is. And one of the biggest complaints I get from coaches is that especially motion coaches, especially read and react coaches, even Princeton coaches, any kind of like system type coach, they'll say one of the biggest problems we have is our players, one, they forget the plays. Okay, we're going to solve that today through repetition, and two, they forget. I think, they know, but they forget, or they're late with a certain action. That action is usually filling. Our players fill. They don't fill quick enough. They don't fill on time. And what I tell them is like, well, when you break the offense down into drills and you're focusing on the action, the three players who are in the action, and not the two players who are off the action, is those two players, once this is done, what you're not getting the repetition is the transition to the next part of the offense. You're not getting the reps of those kids watching it from the weak side, seeing what's going on, and then filling. Okay, that was one of the first things that I really recognized. One of the big problems we have. The next reason, and maybe the biggest reason, going back a little bit to players getting good at the drill and cheating the drill. If you're teaching your offense, now I have no problem doing things 3-on-0 and 3-on-3. All right, as long as there's one significant point of emphasis. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. But when you're doing something 3-on-0, 3-on-3, let's just say we're 3-on-3 now, and your players try to do something, if you are not so strict on saying, nope, you cannot do that, and they'll be like, why not? It's like, because there's two other defenders on the court that you can't see right now. So if I do something 3-on-3 and we're running something like Princeton, it's got a little bit of structure to it, even if you're running motion, they might do something, they might get really good at doing some kind of action 3-on-3. Then when you put 5-on-5 out there, they try to do that and they get stuck every time. Why am I getting stuck? This worked in practice. Well, there's two defenders that you're not seeing. So something that you were getting really good at in practice going 3-on-3, once you get in that game-like situation, you try to do the same, try to go left in this certain situation, and oh no, there's two more defenders there. What do we do? All right, your players are not actually seeing the big picture when you break it down into drills like this. Now, you can get repetition on the scoring action, which I think is great, but I will never, ever, 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 ever teach the offense to my players 3-on-0, 4-on-0 again, that's exactly how I did it though. My first year as coach, we did it 3-on-0, 4-on-0. But I'll never do it again. It's always going to be 5-on-0, 5-on-5, always. Now, if I want to do work on the skill work inside the offense, I will, and we're not going to do we're not going to do skill work today. I think that's tomorrow. I got to double check. But I will, if I want to turn chin into a shooting drill, or point into a shooting drill, or low post into a passing drill, or something like that. I can do that 3-on-0 and then add another coach or two coaches in there to make passes and stuff like that. But I'm going to do it in the skill session part of practice so our players understand, hey, we're working on the skill work here. We're not learning the offense. Now, some of the movements in the skill work might mimic some of the movement in the offense, but there are very strict parameters. Hey, when you go screen, you got to pop back. You have to shoot that shot. You have to take one dribble, pull up left, and that's it. And we can work through that as a skill part of practice. But I will never, ever, 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 ever teach Princeton broken down in the drills again. I feel like that was one of the big epiphanies I had my third and especially my fourth year as a head coach. All right? So, hang with me. So now, what is the progression method? All right, so for all the football people here, and this is my favorite analogy about what the progression method is. So think about the thought process of a quarterback. And I'm going to say, let's just say, a quarterback dropping back to pass. They're not just going back and handing it off. A quarterback's thought process, ball is hiked, they're dropping back, 3-step, 5-step, 7-step, I don't care. What is their thought process when it comes to trying to score, trying to pass the ball, trying to move the ball? What's the first thing? All right, the first thing is like, I've got read 1, I've got read 2, I've got read 3, I've got read 4. And all of those are premeditated. Okay? Football teams don't run motion offenses, right? Everything is premeditated. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't think they do. I think everything's premeditated. I'm a huge Peyton Manning fan. I know everything is scripted. Everything is scripted with what he does, right? Even when he goes to be the presenter in these big shows, and he's out. He's got the lights and all of that stuff. But everything is in progressions. They don't hike the ball. They don't step back 3 times, and especially when you only again, I'm not a football guy, but you drop back 3 steps or a 3-step drop. That defense is coming at you fast. So you don't have the time to just look at the big picture and say, who's open? And, oh, look down. No, you're not there. Oh, let's go this one. Oh, no, they have it premeditated, pre-scripted in their offense. In this set play, I've got read 1. I know read 1's on I called the play. Read 1's on my left. I got left side read 1. That one's not open. I'm looking read 2. All right, that one's not open. I'm going read 3. That one's not open. I'm checking it down. That one's not open. I'm chucking it out of bounds. All right, launching into bleachers. All right, they're coming at me. I'm just going to fall down. All right, that's the progression. That quarterbacks play in progressions. Okay, so with Princeton, whoever has the ball on the court is always the quarterback. I'm calling them the quarterback. I'm working with players. I say, you have the ball. You're the quarterback, and everyone knows what the quarterback is, whether you play football or not. Even the girls. Quarterback's the one with the ball in their hand, right? The quarterback's the decision maker. Whoever has the basketball is the quarterback. Point guard, best player comes, they give the ball up, boom. They're going to run their route, and the player with the ball now is the quarterback. Okay, so they always go through the progression. So it's like every time the ball moves, boom, you got a new quarterback, new 3-step drop. All right, you got a new quarterback, new 3-step drop. All right, so the point guard, I can go left, I can go right, I can throw the ball here, I can do this. Once I make a decision and throw the ball here, okay, now we're running the next scripted play. All right, I can throw the ball into the low post, I can snap it to the point, I can play one time, I can get back into chin, but I have the ball, so I'm making the decisions. All right, we all have the same playbook. All right, and when I throw the ball to the next one, okay, well, I continue the play that you were running, or maybe, hey, that's not open, I get to make a decision. Okay, and now we can go do the next thing. Okay, so every player on that's on the court, if they're going to touch the ball, they're going to be a quarterback. All right, and think about it this way: is like, also when you're going right up to score, maybe that would be the same. Okay, that kid's a receiver. Okay, we hand it off, dropped it down, he's going to score. Okay, But anyway, but you guys get the analogy. Okay, so this is what happens first. All right, everything is a progression. This is the first thing I'm looking at. This is the second thing I'm looking at. This is the third thing I'm looking at. For coaches who have players who are slow decision makers or who make bad decisions, what are some of the big causes? Let me know in the comments. What are some of the big causes, the reasons your players are making bad decisions? And I don't know if I get a little bit of lag, but let me know in the comments. Why are your players making poor decisions? All right. In my mind, first of all, they're not getting enough repetition. They don't know the offense. It should be muscle memory, like pulling up and shooting. The way that, muscle memory for a shot, right, is the same muscle memory that we have when we're actually running our offense, our footwork, and everything else is going on. But for me, when it comes like mentally, it's too many options. All right, I have too many choices. If you go to Cheesecake Factory, all right, or let me just use Taco Bell for me. For me, it's Taco Bell. I go through Taco Bell once a year, if that. I don't know if I've been there in the last 3 years. But I go to Taco Bell, and I look at that menu, and I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, there's so many options. All right, but if I go through Chick-fil-A, right, or what's the other one? They have like box 1, box 2, box 3. You can get 2 pieces of chicken, 3 pieces of chicken, or 4 pieces of chicken. Piece of bread, mashed potatoes, that's it. Whatever's on their menu. I don't know. I don't go to Chick-fil-A either. But the bigger the menu, right, the longer it takes to make decisions. All right. If I've got the basketball and I've got 5 options that I can do, I can throw the ball here, here, or here. But we never teach them what order to do that in or what order to look it in. They're always like, oh, should I do this one? Maybe let me come back here. He's calling for the ball. And they don't know where to look first, second, third. All right, so if you teach things in progressions, all right, they're going to know, hey, when I catch the ball in the wing, it's low post. I'm looking low post. That's the first one. Look at it once. Look at it twice. Okay, that one's not open. Boom, I'm looking at the point. If it's open, boom, snap, the ball is going. If it's not open, all right, then I'm doing the next thing. And I'm going to go do the next thing. All right, so they have this progression in their head. First look, boom, low post. Second look, point. Third look, one time. All right, and they have, if they know what order and it's drilled in order, they're going to make better decisions. They're going to make quicker decisions. They're going to make more confident decisions. All right, and it comes from the way that we install the offense. Okay, that's why I like the structure, because if I had the best players, I don't even need an offense. Just go roll the ball out. They all know how to play. The best players, the natural talent, the kids that play all the time, the kids have the talent. Even when they don't understand the game, they can go make a play. Talent is talent. All right? Most of us, even if you're a collegiate coach, even if you're a professional coach, high school coach, doesn't matter. It is relative to a big point. Most of us don't have, 99% of us do not have the best talent. We have role players. A high school coach, we have players who are only playing because 1, parents want them to, or 2, they want to hang out with their friends, or 3, they get a little bit of status from being on the team. Okay, and it's not something they do all summer. So we need to coach them and drill it in a way that's going to, level their ability to make decisions on the court up at the highest level we possibly can. So not practicing game speeds, absolutely one. More worried about their points than the team. They wait too long when a player is open. Too many options slow the feet. Yeah, and those are all good reasons why players make poor decisions. Okay, the way that we instruct, the way that we teach, for me, when it talks progression method, now, like not practicing at game speed, it's like, everything we're going to do is going to be game speed. Absolutely is. Now, in the beginning, we might have to slow things down a little bit, but it's going to be game speed, game speed, game speed. Okay? Not anticipating the play or seeing the open man, seeing it late. Yeah. And it's like, when it comes to anticipation, if they don't know what to look for, how can they anticipate anything? So if I catch the ball on the wing, what do I do here? Do I drive? Maybe they're going to put the ball on the floor and panic and drive first right away. But if we say, no, there's no driving from the wing, not first time around maybe. It's low post. That's all you're looking at. All you're looking at is low post. Okay, and we're going to work on that. And now we're going to say, hey, low post is not open. What do you do next? You can do this or this. But I'm telling you, you do this one first. Low post first, point second, one time third. Always in that order. All right, that level of clarity helps players out tremendously. Tremendously. And then through repetition, they'll get better and better and better at that. So, the installation frameworks. So let me demonstrate this two ways. First, we're going to execute this on the board, and then we're going to best we can build out the same practice plan on paper. Maybe go past 1 day into 2 days. All right, everyone ready for that? Okay, so here we go. So let me minimize everything, take everything away. There we go. Okay, in the comments, give me 2 series. You have low post, chin, point, and open. If low post is 1, is it low post corner, low post cut, low post screen away? If it's point, is it point screen away, point over the top, point down the middle? If it's the open series, do you want them going back door or you want to get a handoff? Okay, if it's the chin series, we're going to shuffle and drift, so it's going to be the same no matter what. Okay, Coach Bradford, chin and low post. Kalen, Coach Hilst, chin and open with a back door. Coach at Bell City, chin and open. Okay, I got 2 chin and opens. I got chin and low post. Give me a few more. Just pop it right in the chat. We've got about, between all of the groups, about 40 some coaches live with us, maybe 50. Point down the middle and low post. Okay, there's one. Okay, got chin and opens, a big one. Point screen away and what? James, let's see, open back door. Got a couple open back doors. Point all 3 in the low and chin. See, and I would say, Coach Tenchka, I know you guys have been working on this, so you can, so you're like, how can you run point, screen away over the top and down the middle, all into low and chin, which absolutely you can do. We did that at your athletic, I believe, also. All right, for purposes, I'm going to pick 2. So let's do, I've got a couple coaches saying chin and open. So let's do chin and open. And let's do point down the middle and chin. That's also a good one. Okay. Is everyone okay doing chin and open? Good. But I like how there are a lot of different options here. Now, like when Coach Tenchka puts out, point over the top, down the middle, screen away into, let's say, chin. My first thought's like, I've got to make point screen away and point over the top look the same. So I've got to modify point screen away, and I got to make point down the middle even easier than that. That way that they're all getting to the same thing. So that's what we're trying to do is we're going to simplify. We're going to pair 2 together and simplify them. So is everyone okay if we do chin and open? I think of everything that I've seen, I've seen that combination 2 or 3 times. All right, here we go. So chin and open. Coach Kamari says, yep, we're good with that one. There's a low post chin. There's a chin and open back door. Okay, let's do chin and let's do open as a back door. So here we go. So this is actually good because with chin, everyone knows chin. And again, it doesn't matter which one we do. Everyone understands it's the concepts we're teaching. So there's Coach Furio, so chin and open, awesome. Okay, here we go. So here's the first question is which one do we do first? Which one do we install first? Do we install chin open or do we install open first? Which one do we teach first in practice? And I tell you what, keep them coming because these should be the ones that you want to run together with the personnel that you have. This is kind of what this challenge kind of format is I'm giving you my experience, but I don't know what players you have. I don't know what strategy you're running. I don't know, where your mindset is. So you need to be thinking about what we're talking here, but kind of applying it to your situation. That's hopefully how you get the best what's out of us. So I would say first, between the chin series and the open series, I never teach open first because now I say if open's going to be like your main series, there are ways to get into open right away, and I guess you could do that. I'm going to say for simplicity, for most of us would run chin for our team as a whole before we got into the open series. So I'm going to do chin first. Coach Warman, chin flows very nicely into open. It does. And open can flow very nicely in the chin. And actually, I tell you what we'll do is we'll just go full circle. We'll just do this. We'll go chin into open and then open back into chin. That way you can see the whole thing go full circle, okay? So you guys know that I did not prepare for this. I let you guys pick the series. So we're going chin and open. So when you think about the offense in progressions, okay, and as soon as we're done with this, we're going to actually do this on paper as well, is think about it in scoring actions. Now we all know, because of, from day 2, we all know the core movements and actions of the chin series. We know where the scoring actions are. So where are the scoring actions? And every series has so many scoring actions. You don't have to practice every single scoring action. Right? You don't have to rep every single one. That was a big mistake that I made early as well. You should just rep the scoring actions that you're going to see or you want to emphasize the most. That's also a little bit of a hack to how you can install the offense a little bit faster, a little bit more efficiency. Why spend the time with this one specific scoring action when we only have one kid on the court that can actually do it? Okay, what I'll do is I'll teach the offense all the way through, and I won't teach that one part, but then I'll go to that one kid, I'll pull him and say, hey, see this part over here? I know we don't teach this, but try this one time. See if you like it. And then boom, he'll go do it. She'll go do it. And like, oh, coach, I love it. It's like, you can do that anytime you want. All right, and then I talk to the players who can execute that kind of movement in the offense or can break away from the structure of the offense and let them do that. So just throwing that out there. So let's think of chin. The scoring actions are 1 off the shuffle. There's 3 ways: early, late, post. The second way is off the drift. We have 5 scoring actions: shot, drive, dribble, back cut, give and go, drive and kick. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go chin off the shuffle. We'll look early and late. We're not going to look in the post because maybe that's a personnel decision. When we're off the drift, we're going to shoot, we're going to drive. But for purposes of, we'll do both of those, but for purposes of continuing the offense, you guys let me know in the chat. Do you want to dribble, drive, and kick? Do you guys want to dribble at back cut? Or do you want to give and go? You guys let me know in the chat. So when we get to the drift, I'll come to that and we'll work off that one. All right, so in practice, all right, day 1. The first thing that I'm gonna teach them was, hey, this is where the spacing, this is where I want everyone to stand. Maybe you start with the 5-man down low. Maybe you like to start him in the middle. Maybe you just want to start him right there where he's going to set the screen. All right, but when we call chin verbally, when we touch the chin, when we initiate a 2-pass reversal, those are all the different keys that can help us to, hey, we're running chin now. So we're going to say chin. So if the 5's here and we say chin, chin, 5-man's coming here. If the 5-man starts here and we say chin, chin, 5-man's coming here. All right, this is where we're setting the screen. All right, 2-pass reversal. I teach 2-hand chest pass. Okay, I keep doing this. I'm going to get into the detail. 2-hand chest passes. This is kind of like on the court stuff. But 2-pass reversal. Bang, bang. All right, hezzy, and we go. All right, the first thing that we're going to teach, hey, fellas, ladies, first way that we're going to score is early off the chin screen. And I'm going to demonstrate X5's got to be high. All right, I'm going to demonstrate that this player they're backpedaling and they get blasted by the 5-man on that screen. Then I'm going to say, okay, if that's the case, when you catch it here, you're going to pass fake low 4-man, 2-hand pass over the top, pass fake low over the top, and we're going to hit the 1-man scoring early off the shuffle. All right, and we're going to do that for 5 minutes. That alone, that's all we're going to do. Okay, and one of the big points that I tell our players, because we're only working on one scoring action for 5 minutes straight, and I'm using 5 for just because the math is going to be a little bit easier, and you'll see how I adjust that practice to practice when we get on paper. But there's 5 minutes here, ladies. 5 minutes, fellas. I am not going to tell you how to rotate to make sure it's your responsibility to learn all 4 spots. You have 5 minutes on day 1 to learn all 4 of these spots. All right, we're going to rep it. We're going to rep it. Going to rep it. It's 3 passes, 1 cut. All right, and I don't care if you run the same spot 3 times in a row. I don't care. But every spot's got to be filled. So I got 5 guys here. I got 5 guys on the sidelines that are just standing right out behind them. So as soon as this one's done, boom, next group steps in. They do the exact same thing. Now, one thing I will emphasize that you guys do is sometimes start the ball on this side of the floor. Next group, start the ball on this side of the floor and run chin from the other side. That way, your players get very comfortable playing on both sides of the floor with everything you do. If we're running low post, first group, boom, throw it here. Next group, throw it here. First group back up, throw it here. Next group, throw it here. So that we're working on both sides of the court. Once we start working on multiple entries, I'll say sometimes enter it this way. I want you guys to mix it up. I'm not going to always tell them exactly how I want to enter the offense if I've already taught them 2 ways. Hey, sometimes do it this way, sometimes do it that way. You guys decide. Hey, fellas, sometimes start on the right side, sometimes start on the left, but you have to do both. I'm not going to micromanage them and make sure that Timmy got 7 reps here and 7 reps here and 7 reps here. I'm not going to manage that. I don't know from my perspective as a coach. I can't be in my player's mind because Timmy might be like, Coach, I know that spot really, really well. This one's the one where I'm having trouble with. I need more reps here. They need to be big boys, big girls. They need to figure that out. They know that better than we do. And if they don't, they need to learn how to become self-aware, solve problems on their own, work on what they need to work on, and they need to understand that, Coach, hey, we're going to give them time to learn that. Okay? All right? So hopefully that kind of covers how we rotate and move. If you guys actually see us do this on the court with real players, it's really cool. It's really fun. All right, so 5 minutes, we're hitting early. All right, now the next 5 minutes in practice, we'll say, okay, now X5 is high, but now they're chasing us through. They got on our hip and they're chasing us. So we're not going to be open early, but when we turn the corner, we create separation. Now we're open late. We're going to hit them late now, and we're going to score for 5 minutes on the other side of the basket. All right, so everything's the same. So we did 5 minutes scoring early, 5 minutes scoring late. All right, that's how we're going to emphasize, hey, when we're running chin, if we're going to score off the drift, this is what it's going to look like. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll stand here myself. Hey, X5, I'm high. Or maybe I'll guard this maybe I'll put a chair here or a tall, big cone or something like that to demonstrate, hey, X5 standing here, assistant coach, manager, whatever. And then maybe I'll get up here or put another coach here, just kind of backpedaling like this, boom. Just so this player can say, hey, I see a defender here, I see a defender here, I know which one I'm looking at. All right, then when we change the drill, I'll move the defenders around just a little bit so that they can see visually, because you have to do things 5-on-0 to get the timing and get the flow and get the repetition and get the muscle memory. You have to. All right, when you go 5-on-5, it will feel like maybe sometimes for most of us a little bit like we're taking 2 steps back. But then after a couple of days of that, it's going to be, oh man, we take like 5 steps forward real fast, 5-on-5, okay? Because we're starting to learn and figure things out, all right? So 5 minutes scoring early, 5 minutes scoring late. Okay, if we're not open early, we look late. If we're not open late, all right, we're off the drift. Okay, that's the next thing. All right, if one thing's not open, we go to the next. So early is the first thing. Early is not open. Late's the second thing. Late's not open. The third thing we're doing is now we're looking off the drift. So we got scoring action, scoring action. When my eyes go here, we empty out to the corner. 2-hand chest pass there. All right, we're going to shoot that 3. That's the next scoring action. So let's work on that scoring action. And you're all like, well, Coach, this kid's over here standing here doing nothing. What this kid's over here doing is they're anticipating. They're watching. They're watching their teammates execute. They're anticipating what's going to happen next because eventually it will be their turn. Eventually it will be their turn. All right? So we're going to shoot this 3-point shot for 5 minutes. Okay? That's the next way we want to score. What's the next scoring action you want to teach them? Well, we want to shoot the 3, but what happens if they close out and take away the 3? Well, I want to teach our kids how to drive. All right, so now we're going to drive and score. That's the next easy way to score out of chin. So now we're going to teach them how to drive and score. We're going to do that for 5 minutes. All right, so we got 5 minutes early, 5 minutes late, 5 minutes 3, 5 minutes driving. That's 20 minutes of work. Okay? Working solely on scoring actions, 5-on-0. Now, you might think about that, okay, but they got 5 minutes layups here, 5 minutes layups here, 5 minutes threes, 5 minutes driving layups. But what you're not seeing is they got 20 minutes throwing 2-pass reversal on both sides, this way and this way. This kid's got 20 minutes. He's got 10 minutes doing this and over the top, this and over the top. All right, so far he's had 10 minutes looking at that one's not open, but turning and snapping to that one, to the drift. He's got 10 minutes throwing it to the drift, whether the drift shoots the 3 or drive it. So you're stacking reps on top of reps. All right, so they're going to get really good at the stuff that they do all the time early on. Okay, and we just stack these on top of each other. When we get back on paper, you'll also see this again, but I try to verbalize a little bit. So, Coach, a tangent question, how difficult is it to run chin into dribble drive? Yeah, that's a tangent question. That's beyond the scope of here. Save that for the very end, and it's easy. It's actually really easy. That would answer your question. It's easy. So now we're going to say we're going to drive, and we can't shoot. Okay, the next thing, I think Coach said give and go. So we're going to do give and go. So we can't shoot, we can't drive. Now we want to give and go. All right, so if we give and go, if we catch it here, but I can't shoot, I can't drive, but man, my man over here is wide open because they're playing a pack line. Coach, how do you run? You can't run Princeton because they're a pack line defensive team. Well, if they're in the gap, yeah, you're not going to dribble out and backdoor if they're in the gap. But if they're standing in the gap, just boom, step into it, make a 2-hand chest pass, shoot the ball. Right? Is this a shot that you want to rep in your practice? Hey, if we're not open for a shot here or a drive here, the next thing is we're going to give and go. So the next scoring action is make that 2-hand chest pass, step into it, and shoot it. All right? Now, if you don't have anyone that can shoot threes, maybe I don't practice that shot. Okay? But if you got 3 guys that can shoot threes, I'm shooting that shot. All right? So we'll spend 5 minutes shooting that 3. All right, now this kid takes away that 3. The next way is going to be the go, the give and the go, give it and go back. Now, in my mind, getting the shot off the give is going to be open a lot more than the go back, just because of that's my experience running it. This is going to be so rare, I'm not going to teach it right now. I'm not going to spend any time repping it because it's not going to happen very often. All right, but when we see it, the first time we see it 5-on-5, hey, you guys see this give and go that we don't work on? You see how that was open? Hey, if they're open, go. You can throw it to them. Or maybe I'll just pull one kid aside. Hey, see how he's open on that? If you see him there, what's going to happen? Our kid's going to see the common sense play, and they're just going to make it. And that's the go part. You don't have to rep it, okay? Save you 5 minutes of practice. All right, so we shoot the 3. All right? Now, the chin series has come to a natural end, right? So the 2's gone, and they're out here. How we transition from chin into open is simple. After the 5-man sets the drift and they give and they go and they cut or that drive, so if it's drive and kick, whatever, when we're moving a player through here, X5 was going from here, they're coming down like this. All right, so when they're going down, because now we're looking at the rim, we're looking to shoot the ball, maybe we've shot it a couple times, maybe the 5-man is going to come down here. That's where they're going. So we send our 5-man to the top of the key, away from where the defender is. And then, boom, 2-hand chest pass to the 5. Boom, like that. Now, depending on your personnel, if your 5-man can shoot the 3, that's a scoring action. Shoot that shot for 5 minutes. All right? And we're going to rep that scoring action. And we're running the offense all the way through. So we're getting 5 minutes chin early, 5 minutes chin late, 5 minutes chin drift 3, 5 minutes chin drift drive, 5 minutes give and go, shoot the 3, 5 minutes. The go 3 is not open, so I'm going to snap it to the top of the key, to the 5-man and open. 5 minutes, I'm going to shoot that 3. Right? Imagine how good they are at chin right now. But this is the first opportunity that we've had to transition into open. All right? Now we've done this both, and we're doing this on both directions of the court, this way and that way. All right? Now, 5-man's not a 3-point shooter. I'm not going to spend time repping this. All right? 5-man is a 3-point shooter, I'm repping this. Because I want that. If you want your 5 to shoot that shot, rep it in practice. That's a scoring action you want to rep. All right, the next thing is, this 3 is not open. What do we do? All right, and pretty much you've all seen there's just been one option every time. If this isn't open, we do this. If this isn't open, we do that. All right, eventually there'll be, if this isn't open, you can do this or this. Okay, then you kind of have to, it's like the multiverse, branching out. And you have to rep all these over here and all these over here. But I'll do this one first, then I'll do that one. We get really good at this one, then I'll get to this one. That way we're not giving them, that way they have, hey, what's going to happen is your players, when they can go left or right, some players, I really like going right. Some players like, I can't go right at all, I'm going left. Because it does a different thing. So sometimes your players will start to decide when you give them options. Some players, because of their skill and ability and understanding of the offense or execution or who's guarding them, are going to want to do one thing, and they're not. Some kids will want to run the point series. Some kids will want to run point opposites so they get off a drift. Okay, so I've had players. I wouldn't dictate to my players. I say, Brandon, run point, and Brandon's like, Coach, no, I can't dribble the basketball. I'm gonna run point opposite, so I get off the drift because I want it off the drift. That's easy for me, and I would let my players do that, and your players will do that too. All right, the next scoring action is we're going open into backdoor. We're going open backdoor. So the next scoring action, a lot of coaches will say, hey, we got it from this side, swing it to the opposite side. I like coming back same side too. So what I'm going to tell my 5-man is I'm like, once we get here, say, look, once you catch it here, you can rip it and drive. You're driving elbows. That's a rule. Have to drive an elbow. You drive an elbow, you go back door, you get a layup. Now, I am going to tell the 5-man, you can go either way. So I'm going to tell my guards, if he dribbles your side, you go back door and you're getting a layup. And I'm also going to tell them, because I know that there's no midline defense, and I'll kind of explain this a little bit when I'm teaching. Hey, you're not going to be open right here. A lot of players will get here, and by the time you're playing, this is when they're going to throw it to try to get a layup on this side. Sometimes you'll get open that early, most of the time not. Most of the time we're not going to be open until here. So I'm going to throw it to them right under the rim. They're going to catch it, and now they're going to shoot a reverse hook or a reverse layup. Reverse righty, reverse lefty, which we'll be teaching those skills and repping those skills in the skill work session of practice. Okay, so the 5-man can go away from where he got it, boom, where he can come back same side. So 3-man can throw it, boom, he can just come right. And what happens is that defender jumps to the ball. We just come right back in. We just go back door, and boom, I got him there. Either side doesn't matter. All right, the floor is balanced. Whichever way we go, it's going to work. So that's the next scoring action. We're going to work on that for 5 minutes. All right. Now, let's say we go here, we go back door. If the back door's not open, what do we do, fellas? Ladies, what do we do? Not open. Most of your players are going to want to come through. So this is really important. We dribble a guard who's on the wing, back door. They always return to the post. If this is a guard and they are dribbled back door, doesn't matter if it's a 5-man that does it, postman, or another guard. When they're dribbled back door, they always cut and return to the post. That's my core way of doing it. Your core way might be to send them all the way through. That's completely fine. Okay, but this would be the most core simple way. This is my fastball. Your fastball might be send them, and then boom, then stop and come back to the post. So either way is fine. Okay, but this is the way that I'm doing it. So we go back door. The back door is not open. Watch the player in front of you. They tell you what to do. This one's going to lift. All right, and 5-man's going to hit this pass. 4-man's going to come back to the post. Now, my question to you, what scoring action do you want to work on? All right, do you want to shoot that 3? Because that 3 is going to be open. If it is, rep it for 5 minutes. Okay? Are you posting up your guards? Because if you are and the shot's not open, or maybe this kid's not a shooter, all right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to throw it down here into the 4-man and let the 4-man go score in the low post, if you're doing that. Right now, let's say we're not doing that. Right now, let's say we're not going to feed the ball into the low post. I'm going to simplify it for the practice plan once we get on paper. All right. So you can say, or let's do this. Instead of feeding the post, let me go a little bit more old school, Princeton. Let me go back to 90s Princeton. It'd be kind of fun. So, because a lot of you might have 5-men who are not good 3-point shooters, but can handle they can take one dribble and throw a backdoor pass. They can take one dribble and hit the wing. Okay, and if you have a 5-man that I don't know, just all you have to do is look. If they can pivot without traveling, they can take one dribble, jump, stop, backdoor. If the backdoor's not open, hit the next kid lifting. Okay, you can really simplify it that much where your players don't have to dribble more than once. Okay, so let's say we're going to shoot the 3 because we're 3-point shooters. Our guards, we don't like them in the post right now. But what we are going to do, I do like my 5 in the post. All right, so what we might do is I'm going to go ahead and back screen for my 5. Boom. And I'm going to hit my 5 here for a layup. That's a scoring action. We're going to do that for 5 minutes. Okay? What happens if the 5's not open? Well, because we set a back screen, X4 is going to help. That's why the 5's not open. 4-man pops here. Let's hit the 4. Do you want to shoot that shot or not? If you're a great 3-point shooting team, you might want to shoot that. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and say right now, once we get to this point, I don't like shooting that 3 because I don't like doing this. I don't like all the turning, and I don't feel like our players are skilled enough to get their feet set. I don't think it's a high percentage shot, so I'm not going to work on that one. So we're not going to rep that one. But once we get here, what we are going to do is we're going to back dribble. As soon as you set the back screen, we run the UCLA or the strong side chin for Princeton coaches. We're going to step up, receive the pass. We're going to turn now, and I'm going to put the ball in my right hand. I'm going to back dribble, and when I back dribble, that keys everyone else to fill up and reset the offense. Your 5-man, everyone's coming back high above the foul line extended. Your 5-man comes here, and guess what we're in again? Chin. All right, so now, boom, 2-pass reversal. How do you want them to score? All right, boom. Early, late, drift, shot, drive, give, go, shot, open, shot, same side, backdoor, layup. That one's not open. Hit here. 3. You just step it up. I like that one. UCLA, boom, hit that one. 5 minutes. Boom, hit the 1-man popping because they're always going to be open. Back dribble. And that back screen is actually a pressure release to move the basketball to the next thing, if you guys caught that or not. Boom, you're back into it again. Right? Okay, is that cool? So that's chin into open. Right? Now, that might be a little fast. So what I want to do now is do it on paper. Okay? Would you guys like that? Does that help? Give me some feedback in the text. You guys like that? Is that the same way that you're doing it? If you're new, if you haven't seen me do this before, is this like, man, I got to change the way that I'm doing things? Because I didn't do it like this when I started. Okay? I did it the other way. This way's so much better. So much more efficient. Coach Bragger, yeah, you like it? Awesome. Cool. Anyone want to throw a chair at the TV? It's like, no. Break it down into drills. Do it 3-on-0. Coach Hill said, that was awesome. See how organizing everything. Chin open is what you're really looking. Oh, good. Awesome. Okay. Let me see here if I can make the tech work. Click on that button. Oh, there's our practice plan. Nice. Okay. Coaches, VIP coaches, can you see that in Zoom? And let me make this real big. There we go. I swear it's kind of fun. Now, I am born in 81, so I'm either the first millennial or the last Gen X, and I feel like I'm in like the top 95% of tech, but now I'm starting to hang out with people that are young, kids that are younger than me, and they're like, you can do this, and this, right? With like your social media, I'm starting to feel like a boomer. So anyway, so this is kind of new tech. So can everyone see okay? Can everyone see the practice plan? Awesome. Coach Corker, you ran chin into open continuity. Nice, yeah. Yeah, so if you like the open series has continuity, you can do that. But you can run chin kind of like as a set play to get into your open continuity. Absolutely awesome, and I would do that too. And you can use chin as pressure releases and as an easy way to get an open. So there's so many ways you guys can do that. All right, awesome. Everyone see this okay? So give me a time limit. Give me a time limit. How much time, how many minutes are you spending in practice on your offense? 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes? How much time? Day one. Now, I'm not saying now, let me clarify. Day one practice for me is practice. Okay, even if it's tryouts for you, our tryouts look exactly like our practice does. I'm not wasting three days doing 3-man weave, 5-man weave to see who can play or not. Coach Sturgill, 30 minutes offense? Yep, okay. We can do this in 30 minutes. It might take 2-3 days, but we'll do it. 40 minutes, Coach Bragger, 40 minutes. See, sometimes what I do early on in the season is I will front load my practices on offense because the defense it's going through your shell defense happens so much quicker. Offense always lags behind, especially when you're running Princeton. That's what my buddies are like. Like, Wheeler never does defense. He just does all the offensive stuff. So, man, I was a pretty darn good defensive coach. Okay, so I just give it right back to him now. Back to when I was younger, though, I was like, man, you guys don't think I coach D? I do. I promise. All right. So I got 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45. Let's do 40 minutes. Let's do 40. Let's say we're gonna front, because what I do is I split my 2-hour practices into quarters. We'll go 30 minutes skills, 30 minutes offense, 30 minutes defense, 30 minutes full court. Now in the beginning of the year, I might go 35 minute skills, but we'll say 30 minute skills. But I might go 40 minutes offense, 40 minutes defense, and then that's going to leave 20 minutes at the end of practice, and I might leave 10 minutes at the end of practice, and then we'll do some special stuff for like the first 3 days, and then I'll start tapering that 40 minutes back down to 35 and try to balance it out. Or I might go 40 minutes offense, 30 minutes defense, and then I've got 20 minutes to go full court at the end. That's just practice plan organization. That's again a little bit beyond the scope of this, but let's say 40 minutes, day one. All right, so let me scroll up. So day one, what's today's date? Today is the 19th, so 9/19, and then we're gonna go 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And our practice time is going to, so we'll go 3 o'clock to 3:30 skill work, 3:30 to 4:10, 40 minutes on offense. Okay, so here we go. All right, guys, ready for this? All right, so we're going to do, let me make a note here, we're going chin into open, and I want to go full circle. All right, here we go. So 3:30, and I'm not going to say, hey, because usually I would take 5 minutes and say, here's where you stand. Here's a spacing. This is why we do this. This is why we do that. Okay, I'm not going to. We're just going to go right into the X's and O's, so we can actually. So 3:30 to 3:35. We're going to run chin, and that's so we got 2 pass reversal, and let's see. Actually, let me take that one away for a second, and we're going to go hit the cutter early. So I'm going to delete that one. We're going to go 3:30 to 3:35. So I'm going to put the time next to the scoring action. Is that better? I know some coaches even watch this on their phones, and that's so small. Okay. So the first scoring action is the cutter early off the shuffle. All right. Now, hey, coach, what if they're not early? What if they're not open early? Well, they're probably not open early because they didn't get blasted. 5-man's still high, but now they turned their shoulders, they got on their hip, they got skinny, they're chasing them through. Okay, we're not looking early. Now we're going to say, hey, if they're not open early, the next way that they will be open is late. So we'll go 3:35 to 3:40. Hit the cutter late. Oops. You guys probably don't care, but that was a different shade of bold. Okay, so that's the shuffle cut. 3:30 to 3:35 early, 3:35 to 3:40 late. All right, so now let's go 3:40 to 3:45. The next, hey, if we're not open late, we're not going to work on the post. It's just an executive decision. Maybe I'll come back and work on the post in a couple weeks. All right, but right now I'm going to say, okay, we're not off the shuffle, so the next scoring action is off the drift. So now we're going to hit the drift for 3. All right, so for 5 minutes we're going to shoot to 3. From 3:45 to 3:50. All right, now we're going to hit the drift, driving layup. And I'm going to make an asterisk here. It's like sometimes head down, sometimes hezzy and go, to make sure that we're working on. And I'm saying, hey, sometimes put your head down and go score. Sometimes take one hard dribble, hezzy, and then go. All right, so I want them to work on both of those. All right, 3:50, 3:55. You got 5 minutes. We're going to hit the drift and give and go. You guys want to shoot the 3? Let's shoot the 3. For 3. Give and go. Hit the 3. Sometimes I will either like bold the scoring action part. Boom. All right, just so like when I'm looking at it, it doesn't. This is the actual how I do my practice plans. I've done them on paper like this all the time. My handwriting is not bad, but sometimes I can think faster than I can write, then I get sloppy. So, all right, so now we get give and go and hit the 3. All right, so that for us is the natural end to the chin series. All right, because once this 3 is not open, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to transition to open. All right, so we're going 3:55 to 4 o'clock. We're going to hit the 5 for 3. Oops. At the point. So the 5-man with the ball at the point is different than a guard having the ball at the point. All right, 5-man with the ball at the point is open. Guard with the ball at the point is point. Okay? But we're not even teaching these kids point, so that's really doesn't matter. I still want them to understand that the top of the key is the point. Okay, hey, 5-man's got at the point. All right, so now we are officially in the open series. All right, so now I really didn't go real hard into concepts this challenge, but you have your core series. All right, and then we have, I wonder if I can do this real quick. Let's see. Boom, there I am. Awesome. There we go. Okay, so you have your core series, core X's and O's. And I'm not going to get deep in it. We'll go into this in the VIP session afterwards, so that so we can go a little bit deeper. But I don't want to completely lose the scope of this. Well, when it comes to combining series together, everyone's got their different ways of talking about it. For me, a first principles explanation would be there is a phase, there is a counter, there is an audible, there is a wrinkle. Those are the 4 different ways of making the offense flow that I use. So a phase, what we used to call a combo, which is it's one series into another. The way that I defined a phase now is transitioning from one core series directly in with one pass, directly into another core series. That's what we're doing now. Going from chin, I make one pass to the 5, we're in open. That is a phase. All right, now, all of these also kind of blend together, but just the terminology helps us learn it as coaches. I don't have to tell our players this, but I actually kind of do a little bit, but I don't get too into the details. I will when it comes to counters and audibles. A counter is, let's say, the defense denies something and takes it away. The defense is now forcing us out of what we want to do, so we have to counter what they are denying to get into the next thing. So you can transition from one series to another with a counter. Sometimes a counter will happen inside of one core series, and it might take 2 or 3 more steps, then you get back into the next series. Okay? So that's a counter. Defense takes it away, it's a counter. An audible is a player's decision. An audible is like, hey, I can throw the ball in the low post, or I can throw the ball at the point. Coach said low post, low post. I'm like, nah, I'm going to call my own. I'm going to audible, point, point, point. Okay, and that's a player's decision. All right, a wrinkle is a quick hitter or special play that looks like chin, but hey, when we call this, you can all say, hey, when we call chin 5, and we're audibling out of chin into a special play. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Once I started working with you guys, I started putting that together in my mind. I'm like, that's what we did. So, and that really works well. So, okay, so we're going to 4:10, I believe. We're going 40 minutes. Yep, 4:10. So let's go 4 o'clock to 4:05. We're going to hit the 5. And we're going to go open back door for the layup. And I'm going to make an asterisk. So I want it to be a reverse layup because that's what they're going to see in the game. They're going to see the reverse layup. More often, they're going to see the strong side layup. You guys understand that? I showed that a little bit on there. So, okay, and then we're going to go 4:05, 4:10. All right. At this point, the back door is not open. All right. So hit the corner lifting 4-3. Boom. 40 minutes. 40 minutes, day one. I ran chin and open together. We did everything. Everything. Well, almost everything, except the UCLA and cycling back through. But you don't have to get through everything on day one. Okay, and you're like, oh man, that's like, what do you guys think about that? Okay, what do you guys? I'm gonna go 10 more minutes before we go to the VIP. Okay, I'm gonna go 10 more minutes. So is this helping? Is this making sense? Okay, so let me just give you an example of what day 2 is gonna look like. But you're like, okay, so what didn't we hit? We didn't get the UCLA. I'm gonna call it a strong side chin. Strong side chin. All right, we did not get to. I'm just gonna put this. Let's see. So what I'll do, what I'll actually do is at the end of practice, we didn't get the strong side chin, and we did not get to, or the back dribble. Back dribble, reset. Those are the 2 things we did not get to. So what I do is I go to my coaches, everyone's got this paper, I say, all right, fellas, coach, where do we need more time? What are they getting? What are they doing well? Where are they struggling? And I'm getting feedback from my coaches, and I'm now making notes over top of my nice printed paper. Hey, coach, early and late, hey, we're doing really well. Off the drift, I think we need to keep shooting at 3. I think but I don't think we need to do it for 5 minutes. Maybe we can shave a little bit off there. Driving, they're getting a hezzy down really well. I think we can shave a little off there. The give and go, they're getting that really well. I think we can shave a couple minutes off there. I think we still need to rep this open stuff a lot though. Okay, so what's going to happen when we go day 2, okay, let me just do this. I'm just going to copy. I'm just going to paste it right here. Okay, it's not gonna, my codes are not going to like that. Okay, let's just do this. There we go. Oh, okay, now we got the equations back in there. All I do is have an equation, this minus this, and that calculates the minutes for me. If you guys want like this, I use a Mac, so this is the Mac software, so it's not Excel, but I can export this to Excel. If you guys are really interested in this, let me know, and I'll see about emailing out this template. So if you guys want this, I'll give it to you. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, hey, that layup, the guys are really getting it. Okay, I might do this for 4 minutes, but let's just go 3 minutes. Okay, so now we got to go 3:33 to 3:36. Let's go 3:36. Let's just shave. I like shooting 3s in practice. Let's just shave 1 minute off that. So let's go 3:40. Okay, so now we're gonna hit that layup. They're doing that layup really well. They're hedging really well. So let's go 3:40 to. Let's do that for 3 minutes. They're getting the drive down really. Or I tell you what, maybe they're shooting a 3. They're shooting a 3s really spinning it. They're going to shoot the 3s because it's easier than driving. So let's spend more time driving. That's my mindset. Let's attack. Let's not get complacent. Hey, we still want them to drive the basket. We still want to drive it to the basket. So let's spend 4 minutes on driving. Let's see, 3:43. And the give and go. How much we want to shoot that 3? Say, we really want to get to open. This is the easiest one that we do. So let's do this for 2 minutes. We've already shot a lot of 3s earlier. Let's cut this one down. So let's go 3:43, and let's get to let's see here. Let's just do it 3 minutes. 3:46. So 3 minutes there. Now we're going to 4:10, right? This is the one that we're going to. That's how much time we have. I was going to highlight it, but I probably better not. Okay, so that one's both. So, there we go. Get out of there. Good. Okay. So, at this point yesterday, 3:43 to 3:46 was 3:50 to 3:55. Oops. All right. So what I've done was 3:55 and now 3:46. So I've gained 9 minutes. From day 1 of practice to day 2, I've gained 9 minutes. So now what I could do, hey, let's hit this 5 for 3. Let's do that for 5 minutes. I like it. Hit the back door for a layup. I like it. We need that. We're further into the offense. So the stuff that you do early on, you get more reps on because you do it over and over and over and over again. The stuff that you do at the end of practice, you're getting less reps on. So let's shave off the early practice just a little bit, and let's add those minutes onto the end. All right, so that we can progress, all right, through the offense. So let's leave the back door. The corner lifting for 3, How much? Oh, man, let's just leave it. Let's just leave it. We've got 9 minutes. Okay, so now we're going to come here. So this is going to be 346 to 351. This could be 351 to 356, 356 to 401. Left me 9 minutes. I tell you what, I want 10, so I'm going to make this 4 o'clock. And I'm not kidding. If you have a manager, I will give a manager this, and they will do it on the board if you have access to the clock. If not, I've got a digital watch. I would always have like a $5 digital watch from Walmart. And usually I had to go buy it like the day of the first practice. I'd go buy a new one every year, and I would just have a digital watch, and I would just look at it, and after about the first week of practice, you barely have to look at your watch. You just look at your watch. Oh, it's that time. You don't have to look at your practice plan anymore. You know how much time is there. So we got until 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock to 4:05. Let's teach them a couple things that we did not do. So we did not get to the strong side chin. So let's get to hit the strong side chin. Hit the 5 off the back screen for layup. Okay. All right, and then we're going to go 4:05 to 4:10, and we're going to teach them the back dribble. We'll say, let's say, hit the screener popping, back dribble to reset chin. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, let's hit them early, hit early or late off shuffle. So that's new. And then hit them early or late. There you go. And in 2 days, you've installed your core offense. Coach Teskey, you want the Excel version? Okay, yeah, I'll work on that. I'll work on that tonight, and I'll try to get that out tomorrow to you guys. Yeah, it's so much better than just writing it by hand, okay? Hey, what do you guys think about that? How many of you have not seen me do this, but this is how you do it? How many of you get this detailed in your practice plans? How many of this is like, I've got to start doing this in my practices? Right? Okay. I tell you what, do you guys want a copy of this? So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you a blank one in the email, and I'll also send you this exact one. So you can kind of have something to model off of. All right? You know, it's kind of cool. So let me just show you real quick. I have a few coaches here in my inner circle. So here's my game plan sheet. Here is, what is this one? Oh, this is my low post. Oh, this is my 7-day. Like if I'm putting in all 4 series. So check this out. If I'm putting in all 4 series, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. I put in the whole offense in 7 days. Now this was also me in my mind, like, hey, I'm 3 days in. So I put in low post, chin, point, and open. I think we just got to open on the last day. Maybe we didn't get to open. I can't remember. But basically putting in 3 or 4 of these, and this is, anyway, this is what this spreadsheet was that I found my other one on. So I share that. It's kind of cool. But anyway, I'll send you guys a copy of this. All right. Cool. You guys want to see a little more? Let me pop over here. Let me see here real quick. All right, very cool. Do you guys have any questions about the practice plans? Coach starts with that makes so much more sense than running drills for scoring chances. Yeah, right? And look at it. You're teaching the offense in progression. So kids like, hey, as soon as I catch it, I have one singular focus. I'm looking at this. And when we were talking yesterday about getting open on the 3-point line, I want you to be open, or I want you to be open, not get open, right? We talked about that at the very beginning. I want you to be open. I don't want you to get open. Okay? But for the point guard, I want them to know if they are open or not open. Right? And if I know they're open or not open, I can make a decision. If they're open, I throw it to them. Right? If they're not open, I don't throw it to them. It's black and white. If you can make decisions black and white, your kids will make quicker decisions, more confident decisions, all right, and they're going to turn the ball over less. That was my epiphany when I figured this out. Okay, give them. If they're open, you throw them the ball. If you don't throw them the ball, you're coming out. Okay, now a kid will say, look, coach, I'm not throwing the ball to that kid there. And I'll say, okay, then we're going to put something else in so you don't have to throw the ball to that kid because I get it. Okay, we all like that kid, but we don't want him to have the ball there. Okay, as coaches, we'll design the offense around our personnel. That's what this is. Okay, all right. Okay, so let me ask you a question. If you guys have questions, let me know. I'll come back to them. But let me ask you, please let me know in the chat, how beneficial would it be for you guys to see what we just did on the whiteboard and on paper? How beneficial would it be for you to actually see me do this on the court with real players? Real actual high school players. Would that like even be even better than what you saw on the board and on paper? Let me know in the chat. Chat away. Okay? So every year I hold, for the last 2 years, I hold 2 coaching clinics a year. All right, 1 preseason. Coach Teskey, please do. Awesome. Let me know. Keep them coming to the chat. You guys want to see it. Coach Bradford, can't wait. Awesome. So we do 2 coaching clinics a year. 1 preseason, one pre-summer, 1 preseason. Okay? Are you guys entering, Coach Carker? Absolutely. Is it okay if I talk about my clinic here for a few minutes? And actually, the whole plan, Coach Jennings, yes. Bradford, can't wait. Teskey, can't, please do. Awesome. So my original plan when I started working with coaches, Coach Carper, yes, sir. Okay. So my original plan was to actually start doing coaching clinics. And when I made this profession change to work with basketball coaches, I actually started doing it for about a year, just kind of in the Facebook groups. I was in Coach Collins' group and just kind of answering questions. I was like, well, this is kind of fun. And then I got the idea. I was like, well, maybe I can hold a clinic on Princeton because a lot of coaches were asking Princeton stuff. And that was the fall of 2019. So I was like, hey, as soon as this season's over, this spring, I'll do a clinic. And then, we all know what happened. COVID happened, and we did everything on the board. We made this board up, and we started doing everything online. But the last 2 years, I've been actually to do actual coaching clinics. We call them Princeton Offense Live because the clinics are live, they're in person. And what's different about these clinics, okay, we went to Texas, spring of 22. So this was the very first clinic that we ever did. We worked with the varsity girls, the varsity boys. So Coach Major and I there, we worked with her girls program. The Coach Herrera is on the right, Coach McNeil's on the left. We worked with their varsity boys program. And then last fall, we went to Warsaw, Indiana. Coach Moore, who was actually coached Mount Vernon Naz here, men, at the same time that I was head coaching at Northridge. And we never crossed paths. It was kind of crazy. But we did a clinic in Indiana where we worked with his varsity boys, JV boys, and 3 different collegiate men's programs. And then this past spring, we went to California where we worked with Coach Friedman and Coach Tenchka, Scott and Dave and Scott. So this is something that I really want to keep going, and really each one has gotten better and better. They really have. And that's just me getting better and better at working with coaches. So Texas, we worked with the varsity boys and girls. We actually worked with the varsity boys and girls together that first session. We worked with 3 different collegiate men's programs in Indiana, and in California, we worked with 3 different varsity boys programs. So had an absolute blast. So now that we're doing the pre-summer clinics are kind of geared towards, hey, my thought process is going into the summer, I want to experiment with things. I want to learn as much about the Princeton as I can so I can experiment with things. Going into the season, it's like, okay, a lot of us kind of have an idea what we want to do. But now the focus is like, man, now I need to know how to install. We really need to focus on installation. So that's what we're going to be focusing on now. So Princeton Offense Live, 2023 in the fall, we're going to be in Versailles, Ohio, October 14th and 15th. This is later than what we usually do these in September, but for a lot of different reasons, I'll kind of briefly explain why that we're a little bit later. And actually, I polled the Facebook group literally about 85 to 90% of coaches don't have their first official practice until the week after October 14th and 15th. So I think this is going to work out. And if coaches prefer October, we'll try to stay October. Or if not, if September's better next year, we'll go back to September. But anyway, so Princeton Offense Live, October 14th and 15th. This is going to be this coaching. It's different than any other coaching clinic. One, because it's not a smorgasbord clinic with 12 different topics, and obviously that's been the staple. And those are the clinics you go to. I would always go to that clinic knowing that I'm running Princeton. I'm not going to see any Princeton coaches. You hardly ever see a Princeton coach at a clinic. When you do, it's like, wow, this is great. But you go to these clinics and you come back with, hey, I'm just looking for a gold nugget. I just want that gold nugget. If I get something, a little bit of gold that I can bring into my program, a little bit of philosophy. You would usually, for me, I would come back with more philosophical ideas than X's and O's or skill work. We come back with new skill work drills and stuff like that. But so this is not a smorgasbord clinic with 12 different coaches, 12 different topics. This is primarily me in the clinic. This clinic, it's 100% dedicated to the Princeton offense and the strategies that we use with Princeton. All right, we learn how to run the offense, learn how to install the offense, learn how to execute the offense 5-on-5. We learn how to develop our players, skill work, how we and the exact same way that we progressed through our offense, X's and O's. Wait until you see us do that with skill work. We start teaching skill work in the skill work session. Then when we get to the offensive side, hey, remember when we did that skill work thing over here? That little hezzy before the cut? All right? You're doing that now on the offense. And we just show that and demonstrate that over. And our players, they just start having these epiphanies, light bulb moments. This clinic, we cover everything below. But again, this clinic in Versailles, we're really going to be focusing on installing that. We're going to be working with her varsity girls program. And we're going to spend a lot of time we're not only installing what they're going to run, but we're going to install a lot of the Princeton offense with the girls program over 2 days. And by the time you're done, you're going to be like, how are they running all of this in just 2 days? It's incredible. So how to flow the offense, how to counter, how to audible, how to execute wrinkles, different entries, different pressure releases, how to modify the offense to your personnel, how to our zone offensive strategies, because what happens when you get really good running Princeton, you start to see more zone. That's what happened to me. So what do we do with our zone offenses? And then actually last clinic, I started working on some defensive stuff as well that matches your offensive strategy. So we're going to be talking about, a lot of coaches are really interested in the matchup zone, so we'll be talking that about as well. So the regular when we launched this back in 2022, the regular ticket price was $247. Now we've done early bird prices at $197 and $147, and then like a couple weeks before it goes up to $247. But this year, personally, for me, has brought it's been kind of challenging. And because of those, I did not have enough time to properly find a host, find someone say, hey, yeah, come here, let's do it here. I was not able to travel this year, so I had to find a host local to where I'm at. For sales like an hour and a half away, so that's close enough that it's going to work. But I didn't have enough time to properly market this clinic. So, you're like, hey, we're doing this challenge. We're talking about the clinic now. And hey, in 3 weeks, we're going to have this clinic. Or maybe, is it 3 or 4 weeks? About 3.5 weeks, we're going to be having this clinic. So I wasn't even sure there was going to be one. So I was actually kind of going, I was like, well, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I want to take, some of the stuff that happened in my personal life and then just trying to rush and put this thing together. I was like, you know what? It's like I wasn't able to market it properly. We're probably not going to have as many coaches show up because it's later in the season than in September. So I kind of wanted to take this as an opportunity to help you guys out because you guys have shown the most interest in Princeton. You guys are here taking the challenge. You guys are here watching the replays. I also have changed my business model because this is what I do full time. I've changed my business model. We used to sell my whiteboard, my workshop program, and my on-court passport for $500 a piece. We sold those for 2 years at that price. But we really, where I'm kind of going to now is I want more coaches to have access to this. All right, and I understand that $250 is expensive for coaches to go to clinics, and some schools will help pay for them, some schools won't. So what we're doing this year is we're not going to sell the ticket at $247. We're not even going to $197. not even 147. But right now, you can get tickets for Princeton Offense Live October 14th and 15th for just $97. Okay, and I've never gone this low, and I tell you what, it's going to be an experiment for me, because two things. One, I want more coaches to attend, but two, so little coaches run the Princeton offense that, if the price is too low and not many coaches come, it's like financially, it's like I can't, I'm losing money, breaking even, it's not working out. So, but because of all of the special circumstances this year, we're only going to charge $97 for a limited amount of time. We are going to raise the price, but it is only $97 right now for all of the coaches in the challenge. So it's PrincetonOffenseLive.com/Ohio23. And I can't copy and paste that into the chat, but maybe I can, if someone can add that into the chat for me. I actually check your email. You might have actually already gotten the email that has that link in there. Okay, so if you go to PrincetonOffenseLive.com/Ohio23 right now, you can get a ticket to Princeton Offense Live to the coaching clinic. It's a 2-day clinic. You can get it for just $97. Everyone's getting, we usually do 7 days replays free. Everyone's getting 14 days replays. So if you can't be there live in person, we do it. You can come live in person if you're local, or if you want to stream it virtually, we're going to stream it, live stream it virtually online in real time. So I usually have like a big 60-inch TV, and your private room is on that. So I go to the bleachers and we'll do Q&A. Then I'll come to they'll come to everyone online, and I'll ask you put your questions in the chat, and just like we're doing right now, like our VIP coaches are doing right now, you'll put your questions in the chat, and then I'll go through and answer your questions as well. We'll go back on the court and demonstrate, or I'll just answer them verbally. But if you feel like, hey, I can't commit to that weekend, or you got a birthday or a wedding that weekend, I'm giving you replays for 14 days after. It's 2 full weeks after. I've never given replays for that long. It's always been 7 days. So if you want to see everything that we've done, day 1, day 2, day 3, and tomorrow we're working on skill work, and day 5 of the challenge, we're working on game planning and execution. We're going to be talking a lot of 5-on-5 situational stuff on the board. If it would be more, because most of us, and me included, I am much better learning by watching it on the court and by doing it on the court than I am on the board or on paper or watching film. On the court is like it's like the king of learning. It's just everything's right there. It's real time. It's dynamic. It's and these clinics for the most part are smaller clinics. So access to me is it's not like you go to a clinic and there's 300 coaches up there, and then no one can really ask the presenter any questions. You get a little slight in look of one portion of their program. What we're doing in this clinic is we are breaking down the entire thing. We're giving the entire offensive system away, but what we show you how to do is modify it so that it fits your personnel. All right. If you want to speed the offense up, we show you how to speed it up. If you want to slow it down, we show you how to slow it down. If you want to go extreme in other directions, we'll show you how to go extreme in other directions. If you want to run hybrid, if you want to run the dribble drive offense with Princeton, I'll show you how to do that. We have a package we call the hurry up offense. I'll show you how to do that. But we do it all on the court. It's all Princeton, 100% Princeton. So 100%, how to run this offense, from the skill work, from the offense itself, from the installation, from the special situations, zone offensive stuff. It's pretty much me on the court for 2 full days. I think we're scheduled 12 to 14 hours over 2 days. So it's also not it's not a fluff clinic. This is like an intense it's like a high intense, high speed. We are moving in this clinic. We're teaching a lot, and sometimes I've found myself like at the end of the clinic, I was like, I wish I just had 2 more hours. If I had 2 more hours, I could do this, this, and this. So a lot of times when I plan all this out, I'm usually taking things away just to fit everything in. There's so much that we talk about at this coaching clinic. So if you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat. In Ohio, there are some very good Princeton offense coaches that have been doing it maybe even longer than I have, that I'm trying to get a couple guest speakers. It's going to be on very short notice. I do not know if we'll get them or not, but we're trying. And even if we don't, you're going to get me grinding away at it for 14 hours on the court. So is that something you guys are interested in? Right? Do you guys have any questions about the clinic? All right, it's princetonoffenselive.com/Ohio23. All right, short for 2023. So princetonoffenselive.com/Ohio23. You should have gotten an email. And right now, this is only open to the coaches who are watching the challenge. All right, for everyone who didn't sign up to the challenge, they're not seeing this yet. For them, the price might be $127, might be $147, might be $97. I haven't decided yet. So we'll see how many of you decide to come in first. You guys get first dibs at it. That's the deal. You guys get first dibs. You guys get the best deal. It's $97. Next spring, it's going to be $247 at regular ticket price. I don't know if I'll get the $247. It might be $97. The final price might be $147. The final price might be $197. I haven't decided that either. But because you guys are like the most ready, emails out. Coach Carker said he's already gotten an email. Okay, good. Then technology was working today. Okay. You guys have any questions? If not, I'm gonna let you guys go. Check your email. The link is in the email. This is what the domain looks like over there. You just go in there and you fill in your information. It sends me an email, says you guys are in. It sends you guys an email, says you guys are in. And then I will find out, I'll send you guys an email, or you guys can let me know either way if you want to come in person or if you want to stream it live. Okay, and you get 14 days replays as well. Hopefully I explained that well enough. I know I'm kind of going as fast as I possibly can, but if you guys have any questions, let me know. All right, you guys can email me, coach@hoopsindetail.com. I'm not going to go over this entire thing tomorrow in depth. I'll touch on it, and then we'll move on. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this over the next 2 days. Just a little bit. Just remind you, hey, if you guys want to go get it, you guys got first dibs. And then I think the deadline is going to be Sunday night at midnight or Monday night at midnight for the $97. Okay, and then we'll see how many of you guys decide that you want to come, and then we'll open it up to the general public. To the big odds, to the Facebook group, and to everyone who did not opt in. We'll see if they want to come too. But you guys got first dibs. I'll let you guys go. So now, I tell you what, we got coaches in the VIP room. So we're going to go ahead and shut the live stream off. Coaches in Zoom in the VIP. Guys, chill out. We'll be there. I'm going to go get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, and then we'll be back and we'll go about 30 minutes for the VIP afterwards. We'll go into a little bit more depth on what we talked about today. All right, coaches. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's day 4. Tomorrow we're doing skill work. Tomorrow we're breaking down skill work, player development. All right, we might even talk a little bit about practice plan. All right, but I'm going to talk about it's hard to do skills over this kind of format, but we're going to do the best we can. All right, so that way we can see how our skills, all right, transition into our offense. And it's really, again, it's skills and players. That's the fuel that makes the engine run. Okay. All right, Coach. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Guys, everyone in VIP, hang with me. All right, see you, Coach.